What's up, fellow entrepreneurs? Some good news in the AB-5 world. So, for those of you that don't know what AB-5 is, it's the new law that came into effect January 1, which basically almost makes nobody an independent contractor in California. There are some exclusions, um, and there are ways to be an independent contractor, but for the most part, it gets rid of all independent contractors. And I've made other videos about that, so you can go through and look at my other videos on AB5 and the Dynamex case, and that'll give you a better indication of what I'm talking about. But for those of you that know, AB5 is a problem for many industries, and one of those industries is the trucking industry. And so the National Trucking Association in November filed a lawsuit, and a judge in San Diego allowed a temporary restraining order saying that it would cause damage to the trucking industry. So, besides the large investments that independent truck drivers have made in their in buying their own equipment and the truck and everything else, and the fact that they get to set their own time and decide whether they want to take a job or not take a job, and they're free to take the higher paying jobs and not take the lower paying jobs, it just is unconstitutional to not allow people to contract for what they want to do with their labor. So unfortunately, we have all of these politicians in California that believe they're the ones that know best for us, and they're the ones that that should decide what we do with our time and with our labor. And they also don't seem to be able to distinguish between an hourly worker that agrees to do a particular type of job and everyone else. They just lump everyone into one thing and say, hey, we're trying to give you good middle class jobs. Well, are you telling me an independent trucker that gets to decide what loads he takes and what he gets paid for it isn't a good middle class job? Insanity all around, but hopefully some of these federal judges will start putting a stop to this nonsense that these politicians are creating for us. Also, hopefully this will have some effect with the whole Uber and gig economy problem, because that's who California was targeting. They were targeting the gig economy, and it just seems to be affecting everybody else, this AB5 situation. So, as far as the gig economy goes, you got a good product that people like. People get to choose when they work, when they don't work. They get to choose if this is a side job or a full-time job. And so taking that away is going to have two effects. Either Uber is not going to be able to operate, and most of the gig economy platforms are not going to be able to operate in California, or the prices are going to skyrocket to a point where it's just not affordable and you can't pay for it. So anyway, that's my rant on what's going on with AB5 and all of the horrific laws that came down for 2020. But just vote the right way. And I'm not saying vote Democrat, Republican. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't have any political affiliations. What I'm saying is check to see what these people's agendas are. If their agenda is to kill businesses, then don't vote for them. You have to look, you have to be sure. I was just talking to a fellow attorney yesterday, and we were talking about that, and he was saying, well, I voted for Gavin Newsom because he was a Democrat, and that's the only reason why I voted for him. I didn't check his background. I didn't see what he stood for, what his past legislation was, what the difference in San Francisco was before he got there versus after he left. I just voted for him because he was a Democrat. And now he regrets it because he's a business owner, and he's saying, man, look at all of these changes this guy's that's making it very difficult for him to operate his business. So anyway, enough of the political talk. keep your eye on AB-5. That's a really important one. It has a lot of effects on a lot of industries, not just trucking. The trucking industry seems to be the first ones to start putting up a fight. I don't know where Uber is in all of this. I haven't heard a peep out of them. I heard they're putting up some amount of money to fight this, but we haven't heard anything from them yet. So get on it, Uber. You're the guys with money. Uber, Lyft, all of you big platforms that this is going to affect. Anyway, until next time, be productive.